NFL season is back. What is going on, y'all? Five Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. And I know I keep saying the NFL season is back. I keep saying that, but it is now. And how do you know that? Well, because I'm giving you guys my week one picks, okay? And I'm giving you guys my preview for week one. So that's how you should know it is officially back. And I am so happy to have football back, folks. And you guys should know, with football being back, what is to be expected. So here, of course, to bring you guys my week one picks. And I will do so every single week for the NFL season. All 16 weeks, as I did last year. As well as, of course, give you guys recaps on certain games. But for sure, you will get my weekly prediction video for all games every single week. So make sure, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe because you don't want to miss out. I have a ton of content lined up for football. And you are going to want to make sure you are turning on my post notifications so you're notified every time I drop a new video. So with that being said, full slate of games, of course, week one. Opening night in the NFL is Thursday night, Bears-Packers. So let's go through every single game from Thursday through Monday and break it down. So a couple of quick ground rules before I do officially get started with my picks, and that is the fact that I will be giving you guys a quick preview, okay? So just for the purposes of this video not lasting like, a half hour, I can only give a few lines per team, per game, really. And so that is what I'm going to do. Can't really get into that in-depth analysis too much. But what I will do is I won't give you the score prediction, but I will give you my thoughts on the line that Vegas sets each week for every single game and whether or not, I'll take the points or not for whatever team it may be. So with that being said, again, I usually don't do score predictions, but I will give you that. So let's actually now get started. So, of course, we'll start with the opener of the NFL season, Thursday night in Chicago, Bears versus Packers to celebrate the NFL's 100th year anniversary. And I love it, folks. Taking a look at the line, Vegas has the Bears winning by 3. It's -3 for the Bears, and that is typically what you get if you are at home. So the Chicago Bears are just getting the home field advantage here. Nothing more, nothing less. But for the most part, I do agree with Vegas here because of the fact that the Bears are at home. Now, the Packers, a lot of people want to talk about how last season, somewhat of a fluke. They're coming back with the new head coach, Matt LaFleur, who is expected to, of course, make a lot of changes to that offense in the post-Mike McCarthy era, okay? And I do expect that to happen. But here's the thing. The Bears being at home, better defense, better roster overall outside of quarterback, really, okay? Maybe you can make the argument for receiving core, but to me, the Bears are a more complete football team, even though I believe the Green Bay Packers are going to have a good season this year. I believe it does not start week one against the Chicago Bears. You're talking about a raucous home crowd. You're talking about a Bears defense that is ferocious. And you're talking about an offense that's still very, very good in terms of quarterback Mitch Trubisky, who a lot of people tend to underrate. And head coach Matt Nagy was the coach of the year last year. So I think the Bears win this game. I actually do have a score prediction for this one. It's 30-27. The Bears eke out a close one, mainly because they are at home and they have the better overall roster. Let's move on to the Sunday games. We've got the Rams at the Panthers, -3 in favor of the Rams. And folks, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. The Panthers started off last year hot, then really cooled off. Cam Newton picked up another injury in preseason. I just can't trust this Panthers team. I just don't trust them offensively. And defensively, I'm not that sold on them. The Rams are just a better football team, folks. And -3 to me on the road, that's really like -6. Give me the Rams and the points. They're just a better overall team. Even if the Panthers are at home, I don't care, okay? Let's move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Cleveland Browns. This line is -5.5 in favor of the Browns. Now, the Browns are being given a lot of respect, and there's going to be a lot of, spotlight put on the Browns this year because they have a lot of expectations. And I do believe the Browns will be good. But this, to me, in a way, seems like a trap game in terms of betting. I will still pick Cleveland to win this game because they are at home and they're going to want to prove something. But give me the Titans and the points here, okay? 5.5 is just too much. The Titans Very good defense. They run the football well with Derrick Henry. I believe they're going to make this game ugly. Give me the Titans and the points, but the Browns still win this game. Now let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to this game. They're probably thinking the Chiefs are just going to win this game easily. I'm not so sure about that. Jaguars in this game, they are obviously at home, but the Chiefs are only projected to win by 4. The line is -4 in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I get it, they're on the road here. But to me, this is a trap game, and I might just do it, folks. You know what? I'm going to do it. This is my upset of the week. I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this does not mean that the Jaguars are better than the Chiefs. This is not a season-long projection. This is just one game. And again, this is why it's called an upset, right? Last year, the Jaguars played Patrick Mahomes very well. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They can contain Patrick Mahomes somewhat. This defense is very, very good, even though they had a down year last year. And I believe with new quarterback Nick Foles, that offense is going to be able to actually carry their end of the bargain with what the defense is providing. So this is my upset of the week. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and if they don't beat them, give me the points, okay? So with that being said, let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens at the Miami Dolphins. Ravens are favored by 6.5 in this one. The Dolphins, we know they're a mess. They're starting Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're rebuilding. They traded their offensive tackle, Laramie Tunsil. It's just a mess in Miami, okay? So I would be very inclined to take the points here with Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, that Baltimore defense. But I do believe it stays close. I think it can stay close just because Ryan Fitzpatrick, we saw last year, week 1, Bucks, they upset the Saints. I will never forget that because that was my lock of the week. So so much for that. Ryan Fitzpatrick starts out hot and then cools off. We see it every year. I believe he keeps Miami in this one, but I'll still take the Ravens to win this game. Give me the Dolphins and the points. 6.5 is a little too much for me. Let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings at home, favored by 4 points. They had somewhat of a down year last year, but folks, this roster is still very good. Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. Dalvin Cook is back. The defense still has studs. Do I need to say more? Give me the Minnesota Vikings to win this matchup, but I will take the Falcons and the points. 4 is just a little too much for me. Falcons offense still very, very high powered with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Devontae Freeman, who is now healthy. So let's move on to the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. -3 is the line in favor of the New York Jets, who are at home, and give me the Jets in this one. Just a better overall roster. Jets are going to be one of the most improved teams. I love Sam Darnold. I think he's going to have a big year. You got Le'Veon Bell, who's, of course, one of the best running backs in the NFL. And you take into account the defense, which will be improved with new draft pick Quinnen Williams. Give me the Jets all day in this one. Give me the points as well for the New York Jets. Let's move on to the Washington Redskins at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 9.5. I'll take it. Give me more. The Redskins are a joke. They're starting Case Keenum at quarterback. They have literally no weapons. They are going to do everything they can to slow down this game, but I don't believe they can. The Eagles are loaded. I have them winning the NFC East. I know 9.5 is a lot in this one, but give me the Eagles. I think they blow out the Washington Redskins. Let's move on to the Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored by 7. Give me the 7 points and the Chargers to win this game. Folks, I know that seems like a lot, but here's my thing. Everybody loves Jacoby Brissett out of nowhere. I don't understand this hype train. Andrew Luck retires, and people are talking about the Colts will be okay with Jacoby Brissett. Folks, we've seen this story before. 2017, Jacoby Brissett started 15 games, 13 touchdowns, 7 picks. That is awful, folks. That is really, really bad. Give me the Chargers all day. I know their defense is still very, very good, and their offense is stacked with Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. And even if they don't have Melvin Gordon, they won 4-0 without him last year. Austin Eckler's still there. The only thing that worries me about the Chargers is their offensive line, but I don't see the hype at all with the Indianapolis Colts quarterback Jacoby Brissett. They just extended him as well. I think he's very overrated. Give me the Chargers at home in this one with the points. Let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals at the Seattle Seahawks. 9.5. You think I'd be tempted to take that? I'm not going to. Seahawks win this game, but the Bengals give me the points and the Bengals because of the fact that even though the Seahawks are the better team with quarterback Russell Wilson, I don't like the roster too much. You talk about the running game. Chris Carson's decent. Rashad Penny's okay, but it's more of a committee. Then you took a look at the wideouts. Doug Baldwin retired. We know that. You got Tyler Lockett, but he's a number 2, number 3. DK Metcalf is hurt. Is he even going to suit up for week 1? Their tight end is Will Dissly. Offensively, they're not very good. Defensively, they're okay. But outside of Bobby Wagner, who really scares you on that defense? So to me, the Seattle Seahawks aren't very good in terms of their roster outside of Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, but the Bengals are just awful, okay? They're rebuilding. They're similar to the Miami Dolphins, but new head coach, Zach Taylor, I think they're going to obviously play up to, make sure that they don't embarrass themselves in week 1. This is in Seattle, but 9.5 for this game feels a little too much. Give me the Seahawks to win this game, but the Bengals to cover the points. Let's move on to the Detroit Lions at the Arizona Cardinals, folks. I like Kyler Murray, but if the offensive line for the Cardinals does what it did in the preseason against the Raiders, where they folded like a cheap tent, this is going to be a long night for Kyler Murray because the Detroit Lions D-line is one of the most underrated in the NFL. They're going to go after Kyler Murray, and he is going to be running for his life. He can run, so that's a good thing. But the line -2.5 in favor of the Lions. I'll take that even on the road. I just believe they have a better quarterback, the better defense, and a better team overall than the Arizona Cardinals. I believe the Cardinals will pick up as the season goes on, but just for week 1, I'm not a fan. Let's move on to the Giants at the Cowboys. -7 is the line in favor of the Cowboys, and this game is probably the game with the most question marks because as of the recording of this video, still no Zeke Elliott signing. Mark Cooper isn't signed. Dak Prescott isn't signed. Of course, Dak and Amari aren't holding out like Zeke, but I feel like Zeke Elliott will get done. His deal will get done. He will be in the lineup week 1 against the Giants, and if he is, I believe the Cowboys steamroll the Giants in this one. I will take the 7 points with Ezekiel Elliott. If he is not playing, and Tony Pollard is the running back, I might just take the Giants to the points. I still think the Cowboys can beat them even without Ezekiel Elliott because the Giants are just that porous and they won't start Daniel Jones, even though they should, over Eli Manning. But with Zeke, give me the points. Without Zeke, don't give me the points. That's essentially what it is, but the Cowboys win either way. The Giants are an absolute joke outside of Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram, okay? Let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this game is going to be a shootout over-under at about 50. And at -1 in favor of the Bucs. Give me the 49ers in this one, okay? Better coach. I know Bruce Arians is actually good, but at this point, I will take Kyle Shanahan. Better quarterback. Give me Jimmy Garoppolo over Jameis Winston. And give me the 49ers roster over the roster of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Outside of Mike Evans, who really scares you on the Bucs, O.J. Howard, yes, he might have a big year. But the 49ers, George Kittle, you got someone to match up right there. I believe Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo are going to create some magic this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm big on him. I have him as my comeback player of the year, and it starts right here on the road against a porous Tampa Bay defense, which is going to get lit up. This is going to be a shootout. I have the Bucs winning this one in a high scoring game. Give me the 49ers. Did I say the Bucs? I meant the 49ers. Give me the 49ers in this one. Let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New England Patriots. This is the night game. Patriots favored by 6.5. Now, no AB, of course, no Le'Veon Bell for the Steelers, but a lot of people are predicting the Steelers to not fall off, and I just don't see it. You lose that much firepower, I don't know how you don't fall off a little bit, okay? Patriots, we know they're a juggernaut every single year. I don't expect that to change this year. They did lose N'Keal Harry, their rookie receiver, but they re-signed Demaryius Thomas, so you'll have him, you'll have Josh Gordon, you'll have Julian Edelman. So Tom Brady will have his complement of receivers. And in Foxborough, I can't bet against Belichick and Brady. Give me the Patriots in this one. But -6 feels like a lot. But I'm just not seeing it with the Steelers in terms of this game right away with, losing AB and losing, Le'Veon Bell. So give me the New England Patriots, but I think it will be close. Give me the Patriots to win the game, but Steelers to cover. Finally, let's move on to the Monday night games. The two games on Monday night, we've got the Houston Texans at the New Orleans Saints. Saints favored by 7 at home in the Superdome. They're absolutely stacked. We know that last year they went to the NFC Championship game. The only one they lost is Mark Ingram of significance. Replaced him with Latavius Murray. I don't expect the Saints to lose a step here. But the Texans are no joke. Deshaun Watson, we know he's good. Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, and they added Kenny Stills. They traded for Laramie Tunsil, new offensive lineman. So I think this will be a shootout, and -7 is entirely too much for me to give up. So give me the Texans and the points here, but the Saints win this game. Let's move on to the final game of Week 1. The Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders. -1 in favor of the Raiders. And I believe John Gruden, on national TV, finds a way to motivate his team to get this win. Both these teams are very unimpressive to me. The Broncos offense is going to be absolutely porous. Their defense is going to be decent. But Joe Flacco doesn't scare anybody. And then the Oakland Raiders, they might be the opposite. The offense might be a little good, a little better, but the defense is going to be pretty porous. So to me, close game, probably low scoring. Give me the Raiders in this one just because I feel like John Gruden wants to prove that, his season last year wasn't, a complete disaster, and he's going to turn the Raiders around. So give me the Raiders in this one. They're only favored by 1 point, so I'll take the point there. So there you have it, folks. My picks for this week's NFL games, my Week 1 picks. If you guys agree with any of them or disagree with any of them, let me know down below. Leave a comment if you agree. Again, if disagree. So those are my picks, man. I hope you guys subscribe. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe as always. Thanks for watching.